Everybody, I would like to introduce Dr. Truda Straede. She is the originator and developer of the Australian mist cats, and she's going to be telling us today in person about some of the things about their type, the colors, the coat, and some of the history.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Now, the history. It was just an idea. I've always loved cats. I started when I was an adult, started accumulating domestic cats, and I thought, this is stupid. I'm a grown-up lady and I can buy a pedigree cat now, so I went and bought a Burmese. Then I bought an Abyssinian, and I loved them both, but I still like domestics. And I thought, when I hadn't been breeding or showing for very long at all, and I already knew something about genetics, I can make something that's got the best characteristics of all these cats. A lovely, healthy, vigorous, and preferably spotty cat from the domestic, a cat with lots of brains like an Abbey, and a cat with a fabulously melting temperament like the European Burmese. So it happened that I couldn't get my Abyssinian into kitten, because every time I took her to the stud, she was off call by the time she got there. So a girlfriend of mine walked her Burmese stud around to visit me, and we had lovely hybrid kittens, and they were lovely, and the type was actually somewhere in between the Abbey and the Burmese. So then I thought I'd put in an application to the then RAS Cat Control in New South Wales, and they thought it was a great joke, and they said, "Ah, well, let her try. We'll give her a provisional licence, and when she's got something, if she really can produce what she says she's going to produce, she can bring it back to us and we'll give her an experimental licence." Well, that took over 2 years, but eventually I did. I turned up and I had a whole range of things. I knew what their genetics were in terms of coat pattern and so on, and then the RAS had to give me an experimental licence. Then it took another 7 years to breed through all the generations, and an awful lot of cats, and a huge amount of money. I worked it out at the end of that time. In Australian terms, in about 1985, I had spent 125,000 Australian dollars at that time, which is an awful lot more now. And I did get permission, and then more people joined me, and we were off and running.